Hello. There's a bit of shadows I've got going on here, especially on. Let me drink some water instead of this. Some shadows I've got going on. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. I am Coach Lee, Social Connections Coach. I want to help you make more meaningful connections in your personal and professional life. Here I am to help and support you. Please ask your questions. I'm here. What's going on, Medicated Bro? I see you're the first one that popped in the chat. What's happening? All right, I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. I'm here to answer your questions to create those meaningful relationships that you have, whether it's toxic, whether you're bored in your friendship. I don't focus on romantic relationships. I really do want to talk about platonic relationships. I think there's enough noise about how to deal with your romantic relationships, and it really is just noise. It's like you should do this, you should do that. Lots of other expectations that happen in those relationships too. So I don't bother with them. In fact, I think that you need to be a friend before you be anything else to your partner, and that's what gets us messed up. You need to be a friend before you be like a romantic partner, because there's gonna be a point where you're gonna want to stop kissing them. You're gonna want to spend time with them as a real human being with similar interests and hang out. And if you don't have that, then you're gonna be like, oh well, and your relationship's gonna fall apart. You're gonna fight. You're gonna be frustrated with each other, and you don't want that. So anyway, learn the skills to be a better connector with your friend. Learn to be a friend first before you be somebody else. I'm here for a Q&A. So whatever you'd like to talk about today, whatever you'd like to talk about today is fine. Um, I know a lot of people. I woke up and I turned on my internet, and I saw that I think we're just gonna start naming it Kendrick's internet. I was listening to the new the new song you dropped, and I was just like, wow, that is deep. That's so deep. And the reason why I bring it up, because I'm not huge into rap culture. I don't get all the references and the things that Kendrick had said in his previous diss and why they were fighting. But the thing that I listened to and I enjoyed about Meet the Grams is not that it was just filth. It wasn't like that. For me, my experience with it was a little different. Because I believe there's this idea that, the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And the biggest thing that keeps us from connecting with people authentically is that we don't want them to know what's really going on inside of us. What's really going on. We dream up this whole scenario of the worst things that are going to happen. Now, this is different. It seems bigger because it's for more public view because it's Kendrick and Drake. But what I see and that I noticed is that we all feel like there's something inside of us that we don't want other people to talk about, and would do anything to make sure that they don't know that thing about us. And we create this anxiety, we create this pressure on ourselves to be somebody we're not, because we believe deeply down inside that if we really do show who we are to other people, they're going to hate us. They're going to hate us. And we live with that idea, never testing to see if it's true. Never testing to see if it's true. So Kendrick was just like, look, I'm going to tell everybody everything. And the truth will set you free. There's no more worrying about this and that. The rest of the world is going to adjust. They're going to adjust. Now you have the opportunity. Now that you know that everybody else knows, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to double down? Are you going to double back? This is an opportunity for you to step into the light and go get some healing. This is an opportunity for all of us to go into light and step into the light and get some healing. It is never that bad when you speak your truth. It is just so much more painful to hide. It always is. It's so much more painful to hide how you feel about things from other people, because you're putting all that pressure. You're making up this reality that people hate you, that people don't like you, that people don't care about you, that people want to see you hurt. You don't know unless you actually say the words and watch and see what happens. And then you will know. And then you can actually talk back. You can actually talk back. You can actually say something. You can actually move accordingly because you know how they're actually feeling. You're not making it up. It's here in reality based on their actions. So that's what I liked about it. And I think it's a concept that I stick with. Like here, if you want to connect with people, the only way to connect with people authentically is to talk about how you really feel about things, period. About your struggles, about your triumphs, about things that are happening in your life. And you watch how those people respond. Do they respond in a way that you like? If they do, then great. Keep them closer. They get to share more. You get to share more things with these people. Otherwise, they don't, and you dismiss them. But if you don't have the confidence to know that your feelings are the most important thing in your life, then you're going to be like, well, I care about how they feel about my feelings. I care about how they feel about me, and you'll cling on to them. And we hate those people. We don't like those people. We don't like them. We don't care about them. We don't want to be with them. Medicated Bro says, I do have questions and you're not around. Not your fault. I got to write them down. Rap lyric. I mean, it's not a rap lyric, but it could be one. That's where my mind is today. Thanks for the likes, Ev. If you like what I'm saying, please tap the screen, get some more people in here. Let's have a nice conversation about what's going on. I'm live on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday to answer your questions. If you don't have any questions, you don't have any stories to tell about your relationships with other people, whether it's toxic, whether it is boring, whether you're unsure about how other people are going to like how they're going to respond, or if you're not sure if they like you or not, drop that in the chat. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with you, and I'll be happy to give you some actionable answers, actionable steps. You helped me so much. I hope someone, oh, thanks. I appreciate hearing that. I'm glad you've helped me so much. Hope someone else can gain some insight. I want to give that insight. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I want to give you some actionable steps. You know, the reason why I started this is because I had my own lifelong journey. It's not lifelong. I mean, I'm still here, so it's not over yet. But for many, many, many years, I've struggled with making meaningful relationships with people. I just didn't know how to do it. My family of origin didn't have really great relationships with each other. They didn't model what it looked like to be in a good, fun, nice, loving, creative, happy, supportive relationship. I didn't see that, and I didn't see it in the relationships around me either. Like after I got out of the household, and I was trying to create that. I was trying really hard to create that because I knew that it was possible because I grew up in the 90s and I was watching those TV shows that said it's possible. You know, Full House and Family Matters and The Fresh Prince, you know, where you have a little bit of fighting and then you resolve the issue in 30 minutes. You have a conversation, you talk, you laugh, you hug, you kiss each other, and you're just like, yes, this is a family. And I always craved that, always wanted something like that. And I didn't know how to do it. And so I looked at my family and was like, well, I don't want that. Y'all argue too much. Y'all don't seem to like each other. I don't think y'all like me either. So I'm gonna get out of here. And I go out there and I try to create something different, something new, like what I saw on TV. But holy moly, man, relationships are hard. You don't resolve a conflict in 30 minutes. I mean, maybe 20, 25 minutes if you include commercials, 22 minutes if you include commercials. You don't resolve a conflict in that amount of time. You really have to work at it. You really have to work at finding the right people to have the kind of conversations that you're looking at. And there's a focus on your own emotional wellness too. Like I was angry all the time, and I would tell people I wasn't angry. I was dismissive. I was just a crybaby. I'm saying all these terms just to be like salacious. But I was like, I didn't care about anybody else's feelings. I was always focused on why aren't they taking care of me? Why aren't they caring about me? They should be caring about me. I was a people pleaser. People pleaser. I did whatever you want just to make sure that you cared about me, just to make sure that you wouldn't leave, you wouldn't go away, because I thought that's how you create relationships. I didn't know that it's about opening up and talking about your feelings. And that is the most terrifying thing. That's the most terrifying thing because if we do that, people are likely to reject us. Does anybody out there feel that? Anybody out there today? Medicated Bro, thanks for the likes. I appreciate that. Nobody cares about how you feel. They want to be heard themselves. They want their own feelings to be heard. They don't care about yours. Most people don't care. I was out there doing the same thing. I'm like, why does anybody like me? Why does anybody care? Why does anybody think I'm important? And then I wouldn't tell them if I did have a problem either because I didn't trust them. I created this whole thing where I was just lonely, so lonely, so lonely. I was so lonely because sometimes I draw on the board. I draw on the board all the time, honestly. Hey, this is you out here trying to make meaningful relationships with other people. And when I say meaningful relationships, I mean relationships with people that you actually care about. Ramsey. I don't know why I read it Ramsey. Zamzi. Ramsey, what's going on? I'm glad you feel what I'm saying. These people be like you. I don't know, you and me, we're the same. We're the same. Look at us. We're out there trying to make connections and we're smiling. We're doing whatever we can to help people and feel connected to them. But we do everything except the thing that we're supposed to do. We don't care about these people and how they really feel about things, about what's going on in our lives. This is what stops us. We care about how they think about us, what they think about us. So we all have our own beliefs and ideas about how the world works. And we go out there based on our, how we grew up and stuff. So this is a version of this person. And we care only about what they think. This is like I draw my beliefs in ways of triangles and shapes and stuff like that. But this is it. We're not thinking about what they're thinking about, how they feel. We really just think about what they think about us. That makes sense to you. We're just thinking about what they think about us. And we act all about this. And when we do this, we never see this person. We create some kind of barrier. We create some kind of barrier where we're not really, this is like the person that there's the people in your life. These are just people, friend, for whatever reason. But this can be anybody. This can be anybody that we want, any kind of relationship that we want to have with other people. They have their own thoughts, beliefs, ideas. They have all that going on about life. They have their thoughts about themselves. There we go. There's a little triangle that represents some of their beliefs that they have. There you go. And these are the things that we want to connect to another person with. They talk about these things. They will open up their mouth to say how they feel. They'll talk about their beliefs about, it's not necessarily beliefs about religion or anything like that. It's just how I feel about the world. What's going on in my life? What are my experiences? This is my family life. This is what's happening at school, work, whatever. And they'll open up their mouth to tell you about it. Because that's what we do. When we connect with people, we communicate what's going on in our lives. Well, look, I want to tell you about this thing that's happening. You don't care. You don't care. If you were this person who were struggling to make relationships, and this is just regular stuff. I mean, we're not taught how to think about how other people are feeling. People have thrown this word about empathy and all that stuff, active listening around. But man, it takes some time to actually learn it. It's a skill because we're always focused on us. We're thinking about how this person thinks of us. We're looking for that. And you notice that there's a blue thing. If this was that person here, maybe I'd do better colors, different colors. But if you're thinking that these two are the same kind of people, and if this is your thoughts of them, they don't match. This is a different color. You're making up stuff about what they're thinking. You're not connected to them. You disconnect from these people when you don't think about how they're really feeling. You don't notice how they're really feeling. If you can't reflect it back to them, they're talking about their terrible day at work and you're just panicking, or not panicking, but you're focused on how they think of you. They're not even in there. You're not even in there. They're looking for support from you, and we ruined that. I know I did. This is why I started doing this patterns of possibility thing. I ruined it because I didn't know to even consider their thoughts. I just thought, well, if I did something for them, If I showed them appreciation, if I showed them that I am available for them, then I could be a good friend to them. And that's all that was necessary. Y'all got no questions today? Whew. There's just a few people in here today, too. That's understandable. Some of that stuff, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Not a lot of people come in today. But I'd love to hear something from y'all. Because I know this, this dynamic happens, right? And we're stuck trying to talk to people. We don't really care about their feelings. And then we develop a toxic relationship with them because they're not listening to us. We're not listening to them. They don't feel heard, rather. They don't feel heard. They don't feel appreciated. They don't feel accepted. And neither do you. Neither do you. This May the 4th, y'all. It's May the 4th. I've got so many topics to talk about, but I always like to hear what other people are saying. I mean, I'd like to help as much as possible to the people, but I could just rant. Don't say rant, but I can tell y'all some things. I used to change how I acted with every person. Of course. I used to do that too. It's wild. And you feel more safe when you do that because it is that was a question. Yeah, yes, it feels, of course. It feels a lot better because then they can't, I think I have a video or something on this, but you're reflecting back what you think they want to see. What they want to see. And the more intuitive of us can kind of be like, I don't think that you're the thing that you say you are. And I would do this too, be a little chameleon in the space because you want to be safe. It just makes sense that you want to be safe. It just makes sense. So like, back to the board. Look, I talked about this as being a black sheep in the family and how I developed this kind of thing where, your parents will pass down to you. They come with their own beliefs and ideas about the world. So these are your parents, or not even say parents, but just family, where all this stuff comes from. And it's really helpful to know where the stuff comes from so that you can defeat it. Because if you just be like, yeah, I was doing this and shame, and I feel bad, or I couldn't connect with people, you're not going to get anywhere. But understanding the dynamic, where those beliefs come from, and deciding to change those beliefs is where I stand. So we do deeper stuff. I'm just not talking about meeting people and making friends. That's okay. I mean, that's part of it, but the big work comes from the stuff that you do within. And so here's your family member, and here's you. And your family members, and these are your beliefs. These are, your thoughts and your beliefs and everything. But this is what happens for people who really have this, like me, who had the black sheep or who do chameleon thing, is that their family comes pre-programmed. Their family passed down beliefs to them. So their family gave them this belief, this purple triangle, and they tell you it. They raise you talking about this purple belief, this thing, or whatever. So I'm talking about being a black sheep in the family and how it relates to how you might want to hide because of the anxiety. It comes from somewhere, and it's likely to come from your family of origin. This is just one of the ways. That it could come from it. So if you're a black sheep in the family and you're like, oh yeah, they're going to talk about their beliefs because that's what they know. And of course they want to pass down the thing. You represent the family, don't mess up, right on. And they want you to believe that thing too. But you based on your own life experiences, you might start to see things a little different. For me, it was me watching people who were Christian in the church, and my family was supposed to be Christian as well. And I'm going to church and I'm seeing people do things that they tell me I shouldn't do and that God wouldn't like. And I was like, what is this? It doesn't make any sense. In my mind, they're like, you place this with any kind of belief. My mind, I was like, oh, this is something different. Like, I'm not accepting this belief. I know you're trying to tell me that this is the way to be, but based on my observations and based on my feelings, this doesn't match. This doesn't go. I'm not, whatever you're saying doesn't match what I'm really thinking and feeling inside. And what happens is you start to talk about it because you're thinking, well, we're family. We can talk about stuff. We can talk about that. We can talk, and it doesn't match. Look at how it doesn't match. Look, this doesn't match what they want. And when people, humans, is a natural thing to do. When we are afraid, when we are not able to understand, we attack. We get angry. We attack. Many people do this because they're afraid of whatever's happening. Like, you're not being like me. I don't understand you. I have to fix you, especially, these people who were Gen Xers and boomers. They're just like, I got to change you. And you get scared. They start talking about your belief. They start talking about this stuff. And they're saying, no. Whatever the flip you're talking about, this isn't right. This isn't right. And you get scared. You get scared and you realize that, man, these are supposed to be your family. You've been told over and over and over again by these people and everybody outside of them that these people are the ones that are going to be there for you. They're going to protect you. They're going to love you. They're going to support you. They're going to be everything that you need. You just need to appease them. You don't want to lose these people. And you realize that when you open your mouth to talk about this belief, it doesn't match theirs. If they don't like it, you've got to stop talking about that thing. Stop it. Right now, you're going to lose everything. It's scary out there alone. It's dangerous. You're going to lose it all. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. You either talk about what they're talking about and believe something else in the back of your mind because it hasn't changed. This hasn't changed. Your belief about whatever is going on in your life with them hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. But they want you to talk about this thing, and then they feel some relief and they stop hounding you. But I'm telling you what, this is the thing, is that your beliefs control your actions, all of your actions, not just what you say to people. It controls how you dress. It controls where you go. It controls what you do in those spaces. If you are living with your parents and you carry this belief that doesn't match theirs, they're going to know. For example, if you believed in Christianity like they do, you would go to church. You would read the Bible. You would pray. I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm not doing that because that's not my belief. I'm saying the thing. I'm saying the thing so that I can feel safe in this space. I'm saying it so I can feel safe in this space. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. But they're going to catch you. They're going to catch you and they're going to see you, and it's not going to feel good. But the point that I wanted to make is that you change. You learned it here in the family thing. You learned it. So when you go out to people, you better not say what's really on your mind because those people are going to hate you. This is what you learned. You've already learned it. It's already in there. And you're like, well, I know what to do in this place. I'll just be a chameleon. Whatever your belief, whatever y'all talking about, what kind of music? Y'all talking about rap? Oh, I love rap. I know rap. I know all of it. You know that Kendrick Drake thing? Yeah. I'm all on it. It was like Family Guy. Oh, you like anime? I love anime. I watch all the episodes of anime. Just don't hurt me, please. And the people on the other end of it are noticing maybe this desperation from you. And that's a way to be exploited. You'll do everything and anything to fit in, to not be rejected, because you learned it back here. You learned it back with these people. I know what you're talking about. It's what I deal with my gang-related religious or religious family. Dang, medicated, bro. Yeah, but like I didn't even think about being a gang member as an example. But you don't want to do that. You want to read books. I'm guessing. I mean, if we were to juxtapose like gang bang all day, baby, and you talk about it and you say, yeah, what up? And and then you say, yeah, do the dap, do the thing, wear the colors or whatever. But then you really don't want to do any of that. It's going to show in your behaviors. It's going to show that you don't want to be in this place. You don't want to do these things. You don't want to talk about this kind of stuff, and people are going to suss it out. All they have to do is probe you a little deeper with some questions. Oh, you like anime? What's your favorite type? Well, and you name the one that's most popular, but Demon Slayer. Oh, everybody likes Demon Slayer. All right. And then then they ask you some more questions about, well, what's your favorite episode, or about the characters, or what do you think of this one specific theory about it? And you just fall apart. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. And this puts you in a really terrible situation. You're always, if this is you having this happen, you're always in a state of just fear and chaos. Like, I'm just scared. I'm just scared of people knowing me. But I love them because I understand it's a misunderstanding. If you go back and you understand it's a misunderstanding, if you both know each other, you both understand each other, then it feels better. It feels a lot better. You're not having to hide. You're not having to hide. What we really want to do is be able to talk about how we really feel to other people, and this is what makes the connection. This is what makes the connection. So you talk about understanding. You understand, medicated bro, that it's a relation. This is the relationship. They don't believe in this thing, and you don't believe in their thing. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to bash each other about it. It's like, yep. It doesn't even belong inside of your beliefs. I'm drawing this just for brevity's sake. But it's their belief about it. And it is not your belief, it's you understand that they believe something different and you believe something different. That's it. That's it. You don't have to be afraid of all this. You don't have to have this fear. If you know, if you know that what you believe and what you feel is true and honest, that's it. That's all to it. And when you walk around, people will respect that. People will respect that. I think people are who try to change your beliefs like this with threats and things like that are just afraid. They're afraid of somebody else who doesn't believe. Valerie, what's going on? I see you there. I just saw your thing. Great message, truth to power. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good to see you here. My defaults when talking to people is whether or are you staying out of trouble? Are you saying? What are you saying? My defaults when talking to people is the weather, or are you staying out of trouble? Okay, I got you. I got you. Are you staying out of trouble? We want something deeper. We want to connect with people deeper. Um, do you talk about? I imagine you wouldn't talk about yourself, Ramsey, because it doesn't feel safe. But the way to get to people is to talk about what's really true and important and real to you. So you talk about those things that are real important to you. Not real important, not deep, but man, the weather. I just made a video today. I didn't post it, but I'm going to post it tomorrow, maybe Monday. I'll post it Monday because I like it so much. I want to post it. I go live on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So it'll probably be my Monday morning video for that. But certainly, you want to be able to talk about something that's different than the weather. I mean, it's an icebreaker, but people are tired of it. And you know why people talk about the weather, though? And I know you already know this, Ramsey. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you should be better, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, you already know that you want to talk to people in a different thing. That's why you probably pointed this out. But you want to talk about something that's deeper and important and interesting to you. And if you don't know where to start with that, I have a Meaningful Connections workbook at the link in my profile. Go ahead and check that out. It's absolutely free. It talks about how to create these kinds of connections where it's not, this one is, they have their own beliefs and they talk about those things and they're okay with each other. But talking about connecting with people just by not talking about the weather, something more important to you is what it is. I think it was you who teach me instead of saying glad glad you had that meeting finally, put how you feel about that meeting. I like talking about my feelings, and I think people want to talk about their feelings too, as they're hiding so much. But yeah, I am glad that that resonates with you. You always want to talk about how you feel about stuff, even if you said, um, "How do you feel about the weather?" Instead of saying something like, "Oh, it's hot today, isn't it?" How do you feel about the weather? How do you feel about the heat or something like that? The feelings are the key. The feeling is definitely the key to connecting with people authentically and deeply. You want to talk about all those things that are happening, how you're feeling about stuff. It's not just, the weather was how do you what's the weather like, or uh you know it's hot out here, isn't it? And they'll be like, and they if you spout out some statistics or something like that, like, oh yeah, it's a record heat wave that happened this year and blah 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 and last year. You don't really care about those things. Like, do you really care about those things? We're just afraid to talk about those things that we really care about because of what happened in our family dynamics, because of the dynamics that happen with other people. We're just like afraid. They're going to tell us we're bad. They're going to tell us we're wrong. They're going to tell us we're stupid. They're going to tell us that we don't make any sense. There's another piece. We don't make any sense. We are talking about astrophysics because maybe you're smart enough to understand that stuff. Maybe you're like a little young Sheldon and you've been reading books and books and books, and you have all these theories about the world and the universe and beyond. And you want to talk about that because it feels good to you to talk about that. And everybody you meet just goes like, oh, oh my God, you're so smart. You're such a genius. But you also want people to engage with you. You want people to engage with you. They'll be like, oh, I admire you so much. They put you up on this mountain. They put you way up here. You're so smart. You're so talented. You're something, something, something. And they're all the way down here with these people. You're all the way down here. Or they're all the way down there. These are other people. But you're so smart. You're so you're so cool. They can't understand you. And it's lonely up here. It's lonely up here. You want to talk about something of substance. You want people to stop admiring you and have intentional and intelligent debate, an intelligent conversation with you. This happens with all of us. We are looking for people to understand us. We're looking for people on our level. But you know what happens with this kind of dynamic, with this pedestal kind of mountain dynamic thing that happens quite a bit? That if people are telling you that you're so smart, you're so talented, you're so cool, you're so great, it gets to your head, right? It gets to your head. It's going to be a place where it gets to your head. But also, you can be intimidated because you've been up here so long. If you do run into somebody who is able to hold intelligent conversation with you, who is smart like you, who may even challenge you, and you're not as smart, you may feel intimidated. And this dynamic can just shift. And you can feel like you're this person down here, and that person would be up there. It's wild how that happens, but you won't shift if you have your own sense of security. Does that make sense to anybody out there? You can have this shift where you believe that you're like super smart, you're a big fish in a small pond. Everybody likes you, everybody knows you, and you get out there into the world, you run into somebody who is just as smart, and you might be intimidated by them. You might be intimidated by who they are, and all of a sudden the dynamic has shift. You are not the smart person anymore. This is you looking up at that person who's smart. You just need to have your self-confidence. Self-confidence comes from understanding how you feel about yourself, about how you feel about your abilities and your capabilities to do things. It doesn't compare to anybody else. There's no comparison. How you gain confidence is the focus on how you feel about your experiences. That's it. Nobody can tell you how to feel. Nobody can feel your feelings. This is the only thing in this entire universe that I know of, that I believe that other humans are having, that you can't change. Like, it's only you. You and your consciousness can change how you feel about things. When you run into somebody who is smart, you just be like, oh, you know that thing well. That's it. You don't have to freak out and be like, oh, you're so much smarter than me. What are other people going to think about me? Why? I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. If you just focus on how you feel about yourself, then you'll feel more confident. People will laugh at you. They will talk shit about you. They will hurt you. They will do all the things only to control how you feel about your experiences. Because they know if you're in fear, if you're afraid, if you're sad, we can change you. You can change your feelings, then you will act upon your feelings. If you're afraid, if I pipe that up, if you're afraid of how other people are in the world, how they dress, what they say, the gods they pray to, the food that they eat, if I make you afraid of that, if I say all the things and get you to be afraid of that thing, you are going to respond the way I want you to. But if you hear messages of somebody telling you to be afraid and you're like, I'm not, I don't see a reason to. If you just tap into, it's yours to control. It's you and your consciousness. It's yours to control. It's yours to manage. So when you walk into groups of people, or you walk into new places and you're trying to make friends and connect with people, you're going to run into people who don't appreciate, don't understand, can't comprehend the depth and fathom who you are. They just won't be able to. And if you think that, oh man, I can never find anybody who's as smart as me. Maybe I need to just dumb it down and be like them. Or maybe I talk too much about things that are just ridiculous. Nobody likes that kind of stuff. There's something wrong with me. You are not going to connect with anybody. It's the focus and the understanding, the confidence that you change your feelings, that you control, you manage those things. If you let some experiences from the outside do it for you, you are not going to connect. You're going to find yourself feeling very alone. Because when you meet that person who is as smart as you, you're going to feel insufficient. You're not going to feel confident. If you had your own self-confidence, they would just be as smart as you, and that's good. And that's fine. You know what you know, and they know what they know, and you can work together. You can do that. You signed up for my newsletter. That's what's up, Ramsey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you're interested in signing up, please do. I talk about all kinds of stuff. I give actionable steps to make meaningful relationships all the time. I also have a podcast that you can check out. Listen to that. I drop a new episode on Tuesdays. I also have coaching. Of course, I talk about this in my coaching, but I give you step-by-step instructions for your own social connections. So if you got a problem, if you don't know how to deal with a toxic relationship, you don't know how to talk to people, period, this is what I do. I help you do that. By the end of my program it's going to change your life, really. You're not going to feel inadequate anymore. You're going to recognize those people who mean you harm easily because we test for them. Anything that people have said to you and you might be confused, you're like, oh man, maybe it's just me. They said that they want to be my friend, but they don't call and they don't text and they don't come over. They don't invite me to do anything, but I'm their best friend. Okay. I hear you saying that, and you're unsure. You're a kind person. Of course, you are a kind person. You're understanding. You know that they've got a lot of things going in their life. But we'd be like, well, what do you want? That's my question. What do you want? What do you want? How do you want them to behave? What is it that you're looking for your relationships and your friends with other people? Is that it? Is you just want to be ignored? How are you feeling about this? Pretty awful? Yeah, of course. Of course, your best friend just will not make time for you. People prioritize those things that are important to them. And then you would say, or my clients have said to me, well, they're so busy. They're so busy. I understand. Okay, so which is it? You're either going to be understanding about the fact that they are super busy and give them a break and stop being upset because you're understanding, because you're kind, because you're empathetic. Do all the things. Empathize. Realize that they're too busy to talk to you. Or you are going to ask them to prioritize you. Because you're important to them. Best friend. People prioritize what's important to them. So clients come to me with those kind of things, and of course we work it out. We work it out. And if their calendar is stacked up for a whole month, that doesn't matter. They need to find time to talk to you for at least an hour. They can. They can. People prioritize what's important to them. They prioritize those joyful things. They do what it is that they like. They reach out to people and talk to people that they like and they care about and they're interested in. They do that. You don't have to tell them to. If you're a good friend, then they would do the same for you. I help people recognize that perhaps they're not the best friend, or perhaps they're super busy and you need to remind them rather than complain about it on the side, rather than complain. I understand right now when you said reason you can't stand your confidence and learning that behavior. I've been learning that behavior. Yeah, you can't stand your own confidence because somebody had told us. That's how we were actually, I believe that's how most people operate, and they're controlled in that space where, there's shame on you. You gotta, shame is thinking about how other people feel. It's like, well, what do your parents think? You brought shame upon this family. Everybody else is looking at you like you made a big mistake, and you must feel like you're worthless. You made a big mistake. You impacted these other people. You don't have that much power. I'm just going to get rid of that for you. I'm going to help you understand that you don't have that much power. You don't control how other people feel. You don't. You don't control how other people feel. It's a distraction from you focusing on how you feel. If that makes sense to you, because I know I talk a lot of high level stuff, but I attract a lot of intelligent people because I have to attract intelligent people. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand what I'm saying, right? But I know that this is perfect. Okay, yeah, you don't have that ability to control other people's feelings. They just think you do. They just think you do. And man, are they in for a treat? Are you in for a treat when you decide that you just want to do your own thing? When you just want to be your own self? When you just want to tap into your own feelings? You're tap into your own feelings. Whew. May the fourth be with you. It does make sense. Good. Makes sense. It's in theory, it is everything. In practice, it's difficult to do because there's so much pressure and you're so used to it. They've programmed you, your family, the society that you live in have indoctrinated you with the ideas that you are responsible for how other people feel. You make me feel. You do this, and I feel something else. There's a difference in the language. And since there are only a few people in here, I'll drop a gem for you to help you to reprogram. It's all in the language. It's everything that you say. It's really, really important that you pay attention to what you say and how you talk to yourself and what you express, how you express it, right? It is important to know that people don't make you do anything. So you make me feel. You make me feel. You make me feel. You know that was coming, right? You make me feel. So you make me feel. This is something that you can just get rid of. We want to replace this. Programming is part of what I do in my coaching is reprogramming what you say to yourself. People don't make you feel. What happens here is that you give people the responsibility of controlling you. I wanted to, yeah, there we go. And then you believe something. They're like, I'm going to do a thing to make you angry. And you're like, yep, right away. This is your belief. This is your belief bubble here. If you say this, if you go around, you make me feel. Somebody has said you don't have control over your feelings. You don't. They made you feel a certain way. They did something. They said something that made you feel a certain way. They have control over you. You give that to them. You give it to them. This is all you. You are the center of the universe. You are the powerful one in your relationships with connections with other people. It's you. It's you. It's always been you. It will always be you. Okay? You give them this ability to change your feelings. They don't have that kind of power, but you said it. You make me feel this way. We want to do something else because we've been told that this is the language. This is the language that we have used. We want to do something else. We want to stop saying, you make me feel, because they didn't make you do anything. Your consciousness just clicked. Unconsciously, you weren't paying attention. It happened. But to regain that kind of control and centering of yourself, nobody makes you feel anything. We're going to stop saying this immediately. No more. Or stop saying it immediately. Get rid of this. When somebody does or says something to you to invoke a feeling in you, they did, said, words, I felt. Words. We need a separation between you and this other person, you and the experience that happened. They said something shitty to me. They said something awful. They said something hurtful. They cheated on me. They broke my heart. They did something. I felt betrayed. I felt angry. I felt something. You take ownership of that feeling. That is, it's yours. It's yours. It's nobody else's. Nobody has control over it. And this is really the key that helps you making those meaningful relationships that I keep harping on about. Meaningful relationships with other people. When you talk about how you felt in their experience, you will know that there's a separation. You know that there was one sentence, you make me feel. You do it all before. You make me feel. But now it's different. You can clearly see what they did, they said, and how you felt about it. It's a distinction. And because of you clearly seeing what they did, what they said, you can know that, wow, this is how I felt when you did that thing. I don't like it. And you can decide whether or not you want to continue on. What do you want to do with the fact that they did that thing? It gives you a lot more power. Just this dynamic right here. Just this dynamic, right? If this resonates with you, please tap the screen. Tap the screen, share, let somebody know, drop your comments in the chat. I'd love to know, because this is the most powerful thing that you can do to create relationships with other people. Separate yourself. Make that separation. They don't have the power. You do. It's always been you. It's wild when you discover this, though. It's wild because some people, thanks for the likes, because some people don't like this. You don't like to know that you have the power over your own feelings. It's so much easier to blame somebody else for what they did. It's so much easier because maybe they did something that was absolutely egregious to you and you want to be angry at them. It's their fault. I can't move on because of them. Them. Whew. It's so much easier to do that because you don't have any control over them. You're like, I want you to apologize. You have to apologize. I can't believe you treated me this way. You need to acknowledge me. I read something in the Reddit forums a couple of days ago about how somebody really wanted to have their friend who was a toxic friend, and they knew the friend was a toxic friend. They wanted them to know that they had been toxic to them. Like, this is exactly what was happening right here. Essentially, that toxic friend was being mean, and they were feeling it. And they were like, hey, friend, you're being mean. I felt this way. I'm mad at you. And the friend was like, yep, okay, whatever. And the friend was this person who had the feelings. I felt betrayed and angry. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Still. And this person is like, well, I feel all these feelings. You need to fix it for me. You need to still be kind to me. You need to change it. You need to be better. And they're like, no, no, I'm not doing this. I don't care. I'm not. At this point, you have to decide whether or not you are going to chase them to help you fix this feeling. It's yours. They're not responsible. They do whatever the heck they want. It's up to you to decide. If you're stuck in that kind of relationship where you've been connected with people who just don't treat you well, and you're telling them and you're constantly telling them, you are giving your power away. You're saying you need to do something different for me, but you can't control these people. They're going to do what they want to do. It's up to you to focus on how you feel about what they're doing and act accordingly. If you want to tell them about, excuse me, if you want to tell them about the pain that they've caused you, hoping that they're going to change, watch. Watch. Do they change? Do they change? Likely not. If they haven't, I give people 3 times because I've been experienced enough. I'm experienced enough to give people 3 times because the first time is for me to tell you because perhaps you weren't aware. Like, hey, you did something, it really hurt my feelings, and I want to let you know, and I hope that we can move on in this way going forward. Good. They talk about it, how they receive that first thing gives me a lot of information. Yeah, oh man, I didn't know that was something that hurt you or that you felt that way, but now that I know, because you bring it to their awareness, because we're not thinking about how other people are responding, we're just living our lives. It's up to us to tell them how we're impacted by what they do. And so they say, look, I'm sorry, I didn't know, hey, this is what we can do going forward. I appreciate you sharing that with me. That the next time, if it happens again, the second time, I say, whoa, wait. Okay, maybe I wasn't clear, but also give them some grace because they have different patterns and they've had patterns. And just because I said it once doesn't mean that you're going to get it once. You're going to get it all right away. But the next time, I want to let you know, now, hey, you did it again. I'm paying attention. That hurt me. You did it again. I want to let you know that. And it hurt my feelings. So there you go. So now you know twice. And if this person, in my head, if this person really cares or really understands or appreciates you, they will be like, oh, I need to log that. I need to log that my friend gets hurt when I do this thing. And I don't want to hurt my friend. It's never my intention. I need to log that. And so they do. They log it. But the third time, they're not paying attention. I think that they're not paying attention. They're wrapped up in their own stuff. They don't care. They're not interested, or maybe they're not capable of doing it. I give them 3 times because I think we're capable of that. If there are things out there that are important to you, you treat them with care. You do. You treat them with care. All right. If you buy something that's really expensive, your Fabergé egg you spent $25,000 on, you're going to treat it with care because it's important and special to you. Right. If you have something that you have saved from your grandparents when they got married and you have it as an heirloom or something like that, it's really important and special to you. You're going to treat it with care. You're going to treat it with care. Nobody has to tell you to do anything. Or maybe even if you got this special heirloom and they told you these are the things that you need to do to keep it polished or safe or intact for many more years, then you get that instruction, you hear it, and you do it because it's important to you, because it's important to you. And it's the same when you're talking to your friends. It's the same. So I give people 3. And then I don't tell them, I don't put them in situations in which they have to support me in the way I asked them to. I just don't do it. I don't do it. I push them a little further out. They get to move a little further out of the little circle because I want to be able to be safe. And I know this person either doesn't care or isn't capable of it. So if you're chasing after this toxic kind of relationship where this person, I'm telling you, this Reddit thread just kind of was like, so what? They said point blank, I don't care about how you feel. Point blank. And the person was like, but you gotta. There's something deeper going on here where they need some acceptance. But I give people 3 because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste their time. If they're not capable, then I'm not trying to teach them. We hate when people tell us that we need to be somebody different. We hate it. I'm not going to tell you that, and you're not going to tell me that. So right there, 1, 2, 3, boom, we're done. We're done. It's time to move on to something. And that's what I teach people to do. I have that confidence to do that because I know I've been around the block enough times. And I'm telling you, when you go through my program, you're going to experience the same thing. You're going to get the tools. I'm not a matchmaker, but you're going to get the tools to make meaningful relationships. You get the tools to speak your truth and talk about things like this, change your thinking about who you attract and how you behave around those people. because you are the powerful one in your life. You are the new standard. You are the person that people are looking for to meet. And you need to believe that. And I've never had a problem showing anybody that that is true. I've never had a problem showing anybody that they are the person who is worth meeting, who is interesting, who is exciting. I've never had a problem with it. Because everybody is. Everybody is. Everybody's just amazing. We're just hanging around with the wrong people. So if you'd like to get some coaching from me, check the link in my bio, have a friendly conversation with me. Let's talk about what we can do to make those meaningful relationships in your personal life, in your professional life. Don't let people bully you. Don't let people treat you poorly. Don't let people do anything that you don't want to do. You always have the power to walk away. You always have the power to make changes in your life. You move people through your life. Right on. Oh, I do it too. It can be around energy zappers. Right on, Valerie. People are energy zappers. Thanks for staying for the live. Appreciate that. People are taking your energy and trying to harness it and turn it into something that they want you to do because you're not paying attention. They make you feel a certain way, and it will continue making you feel a certain way until you decide that you feel the way you want to feel and you do the things that you want to do. In my 12-week coaching program, you will get those step-by-step directions on how to find people who care about you, appreciate you, and the words that you need to set strong boundaries and create the meaningful relationships that you want in your life. Go click that link in the bio. If you're watching me on YouTube or Facebook, LinkedIn, do the QR code up there at the corner. Click that, and you'll see all the cool stuff that I've got going on. Also, if you're in Chicago, I got Speed Friending going on tomorrow and also on the 9th. Tomorrow is a sober event, so come to the sober thing if you don't want to drink. If you like to drink teas, it's at Eli Tea Bar. You can also find that link in the profile too. It is $10. Really nice experience. We usually get between 20 to 30 people come out, and you'll meet a lot of new fun people, and I'll give you the right tools to have meaningful conversations with them. Within 6 minutes, you'll have a nice conversation. And then we'll have one on Thursday the 9th. It's going to be at a non-sober event. So check out the link in the profile. If you've got some massive value from this, if you enjoyed this, please also share, like, follow me, and if there's something that you want to do that's have a conversation with me. That's it. I won't ask too much stuff from you. But thank you so much, Heather. Thank you so much, Valerie, Medicated Bro. I see you over there, Ramsey. I appreciate you all being here today. I go live Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I will see you Monday. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.